Tonight's story is about 3 people and a choice that pulled each of them onto a narrow road. It is not a sequel with the same names. It is a mirror held up in a different city, and the streetlights are colder. If you watch closely, you will see the same pattern take a different shape. You will see how it began, where it turned dark, and why it was so hard to stop. Lena is the girl at the center. Arif is the boy who loved her first. Ronan is the man she chose later, a brooding third person with a bottle always near his hand. They all live in New York City, which means there is always a train running beneath their feet and a noise in the walls. The betrayal does not happen in a single night. It grows step by step, from a public school in Queens to a campus square in Lower Manhattan. If you stay with them, you will understand why ordinary people do foolish things and then carry the weight in quiet rooms. Spring 2013. Richmond Hill High School, Queens. The bell rang and the hallway let loose. Backpacks hit locker doors, and the smell of pencil shavings mixed with cafeteria pizza. Lena moved through it with a clutch of binders pressed against her chest. Her hair was in a low bun, loose enough to say she had not tried too hard. She wore a maroon hoodie with the school's track logo, white letters cracked at the edges. Arif waited by the exit that faced Jamaica Avenue. He was tall in a friendly way, all elbows and easy grins, the kind of boy who carried 4 spare pens because people asked him every period. "Late again," he said, smiling. "Mr. Voss wanted me to switch to AP Lit," Lena said. "He thinks I like pain." "You like speed and neat notes and winning at Kahoot. That is dangerously close to liking AP Lit." She bumped his arm with her shoulder. "Do not say that in public." "Come to the game Saturday," Arif said, pushing open the door. "We play Hillcrest. I will actually pass the ball just to prove I can." "You say that every time," Lena said. "Then come see me keep a promise." This was how they were at 16. They did not say love. They stood at crosswalks shoulder to shoulder. They shared a bottle of Ting from the bodega near 118th Street and passed it back and forth like a secret. When the rain came strong and sudden from the west, they ran, and Lena laughed as if the world had been scrubbed clean and handed back to her. At home, her mother folded laundry with news in the background, and her father checked the meter on their taxi medallion app. At Arif's place 2 streets over, an aunt always had a pot on the stove, and a cousin shouted at a cricket stream. It felt simple one night in late May. They sat on the metal bleachers behind the school. The air smelled like wet concrete and cut grass. "Junior year is going to be wild," Arif said. "Senior sunrise next year, late-night diner runs, applications, 1,000 little fights with our parents that are not real fights." "Wild is not the word I would use for math team," Lena said. "Your kind of wild is a spreadsheet," he said. "I respect it." Lena leaned closer until their shoulders touched. "Promise me something." "What?" "Wherever we go, let it be close enough to see each other. Same city, maybe the same campus if the gods of admissions are kind." Arif stared at the moon that had slipped out between the clouds. "I want that too." They were not the kind to show off. They kept their jokes small and their routine steady. When Arif scored a breakaway layup at homecoming, he did not blow a kiss. He raised his hands toward the rafters like he was catching the moment before it fell. Spring 2014. Decisions. They wrote essays and worried over FAFSA forms. They worked shifts at a tutoring center on Liberty Avenue. On April 1st, Lena opened an email that started with the word congratulations. NYU. She sat down on the floor of the hallway because her legs gave up for a second. Purple letters swam on the screen. Her heart beat hard enough to shake the phone. She called Arif. He picked up on the first ring. "Tell me," he said. "NYU," she whispered. He went quiet, then laughed, a short burst that sounded like relief. "Me too. Cass, I did it. We did it. They told their families. They promised the bodega owner they would still come by. They stood at the senior sunrise next year on the rooftop of the gym, watching the sky turn pink over the low line of Queens. Lena leaned her head on Arif's shoulder, and he set his jacket over both of them. He felt like home. August 2014, Move-In Day, Manhattan. Move-In Day was a thicket of carts and names. Washington Square Park looked like a photo a tourist would keep in their wallet. Arif moved into a small dorm near Lafayette. Lena's room was 4 blocks away, just past a street that always smelled like steam buns and hair product. "Call me when you get lost," he said, balancing a desk lamp under his arm. "I have a map," she said, folding it wrong. They met for dinner at the dining hall and talked about a politics professor who stood like a lamppost or the way the subway roared under Broadway. Flyers begged for attention. Lena joined an after-school mentoring program in the East Village and signed up for a research assistant spot in a social psychology lab. She got a work-study shift in the library because loans did not care about romance. Her life became a grid of color-coded calendars. Arif tutored high school students in algebra and joined an intramural basketball league. He made friends in his stats class, loud boys from the Bronx and Flatbush who laughed about probability and stayed up too late. They kept their promise. On Sunday mornings, they bought coffee and sat by the arch, saying not much. It did not feel like a test. It felt like a small city inside the big one that belonged to them. November 2014, first midterm sleep got scarce. The night before her last midterm, Lena camped at Bob's library with a pencil behind her ear. At 1 a.m., she went down to the lobby to find a snack. The vending machine blinked a stubborn red. A man stood there by the dull light. He had the tired elegance of somebody who had danced all night in a different lifetime. His jaw was sharp, hair curling at the nape, eyes that did not belong to anyone under 20, even if his student ID said he was. "This thing ate my $1, he said, shaking the stuck coil. "I have never met a machine that held a grudge." "It hates old bills," Lena said. "Push and hold the selection, then hit the side with your hip. Not violence, just conviction." He tried it. The bottle dropped like a surrender. "You see," he said, "you have a gift. I am Ronan." "Lena," she said, taking his offered hand. His palm was warm. There was a scent at the edge of things that she recognized a second later and did not name. "Midterms?" he asked. "3 down, 1 to go." "Same," he said, and lifted the cold bottle. "You saved a stranger." "Only from machines," she said. "Do not ask me for larger miracles." He smiled. "You do not know what you have signed up for." She went back upstairs and did not think about him again until a week later. Then she saw him near the philosophy building, leaning on a rail, a green bottle cap tapped between his fingers. He raised 2 fingers in greeting. "You again," he said. "I do not save people twice," she told him. He grinned like someone hearing a dare. "We will see." January 2015. Quiet winter break flashed by. Lena watched Bollywood movies with her mother, made rotis with her aunt, then returned early to take a January workshop. The campus felt thinner, the city still big. She saw Ronan by the student center, sitting alone with a paperback and a paper cup that was not coffee. "You are early," he said, as if they had planned it. "I like the city when it is thin," Lena said. "You can hear your own footsteps." They talked. He was philosophy, and if she said, "What will you do with that?" he would say he did not know yet. Maybe law, maybe teaching, maybe pretending to be confident while improvising. He grew up in Inwood. His father drove nights when he was young. His mother cleaned offices after daybreak. He liked old films on grainy screens and record stores that smelled like dust and warm plastic. Does your boyfriend like that you fill every square of your calendar? Ronan asked. How do you know I have a boyfriend? Lena asked. You wore someone else's hoodie that day, he said. This one. Frayed cuff, initials Alaska, inside the collar. Lena laughed, a little embarrassed. You are observant. Only when it helps me, he said. He smelled like lime over something sour-sweet that did not belong to soda. He was careful with the cup, not sloppy. He looked at the world like it owed him an apology, and he was trying not to demand it. I should go, Lena said. Readings. Go then, Ronan said. If you meet a bad machine, I am not there to save you. She left. She did not tell Arif about Ronan. Why would she? It was a campus moment, nothing else. March 2015, the first lie. The semester thickened. Lena's research job meant hours of data cleaning. Arif trained harder, then played a midnight game in a downtown gym that had no windows. They found new rhythms, Friday movie nights, Sundays for laundry and groceries. They practiced being young and ordinary in a city that never shut up. One Friday, Lena texted at 6:12 p.m. Running late. Lab meeting got moved. Start without me. Arif wrote back. I will wait. I like the previews. The meeting did run late. Then Lena lingered because she saw Ronan on the steps, a thin cut across his knuckle and a paper bag near his shoe. You look like you fought a door, she said. It won, he said. Let me see, she said. She took his hand like it was a small animal and examined the swelling. You will live. Celebrate my survival, he said, nodding to the bag. There is a bench that belongs to our moment, and we are rude not to sit on it. Lena almost said no. She felt her phone vibrate. She knew it was Arif. The night air was cold enough to keep a person honest. She looked at Ronan and saw a pull she had no word for. 10 minutes, she said. He pulled out 2 small bottles. Opened one. The smell came up strong. I do not drink, Lena said. I know, he said. You are the vending machine girl. You put dents in bad systems and call it strategy. I am the kind who keeps trying them anyway. That is not a boast, she said. No, he said. It is only true. The conversation drifted. He asked about her favorite book. She asked about his mother. He told her about stealing ripe limes from the neighbor's window box at 8, getting caught, and being told to come back with a bag because if you will steal fruit, do it properly. He smiled like it was a happy story wrapped around a sore one. When she left, it had been 40 minutes. She texted Arif. Still at the lab. I am so sorry. Rain check? He replied with a heart and a thumbs up. It looked harmless on the screen. The guilt slid down the inside of her ribs and took a seat. April 2015. The party and the paper. Lena wrote a paper about social networks and influence. Arif brought her snacks, kissed the top of her head, and left her to the flood of tabs. When she turned it in, the class clapped for no reason except that turning anything in felt like a victory. That weekend, a friend dragged Lena to a party in a 6th-floor walk-up off 2nd Avenue. Music bounced off the walls. Arif came for an hour, stood near the window, and left for a scrimmage. Lena told him it was fine. She saw Ronan by the sink. He stood alone, then not alone, then alone again. You made it, he said. Briefly, she said. Stay long enough to hear a confession, he said. I do not like confessions, Lena said. They make me feel like I should absolve someone, and I do not have that kind of authority. Not that kind, he said. He leaned close so he did not have to shout. I grew up around people who believed love was hunger. Hungry for approval, for a hand to hold, for one person who does not leave the room. Then I got here and met people who look full all the time and I do not know where to put that. You sound tired, Lena said. I am, he said. Do not worry. I am only trying to be interesting. You do not have to try, she said, and the words came out warm in a way she did not intend. Dangerous, he said. Then pretend I said nothing, she said. But she knew he would not. May 2015, a doorway exams hit and passed. Lena walked out into sunlight that felt new. She wanted to call Arif and tell him the future felt possible. Instead, she sat on a low wall because she saw Ronan pacing. He held his phone like it had betrayed him. Bad news, she asked. My professor thinks I am brilliant on paper and absent in life, he said. He is not wrong. You can fix absent, she said. His eyes flickered. Can I? I am not good at showing up. Practice, she said. He stopped pacing and looked at her like she had changed the rules of some game he thought he understood. You make things sound like they can be done, he said. Most things can, she said. He stepped closer. Do you know the first moment I wanted to kiss you? Ronan said, voice low. It was when you beat that machine for me. I thought, here is someone who will not be pushed around by small things. Do not say that, Lena said. I am saying it, he said. It is a confession, not a request. I have a boyfriend, she said. I know, he said. He laughed once, quiet. Then this is only a truth I had to put somewhere. She left. She did not tell Arif. There was nothing to tell. That was the lie she chose. September 2015, sophomore fall. They moved into small apartments with thin walls. Lena shared with two quiet girls near East Broadway. Arif's place had sneakers by the door and a whiteboard with tournament brackets. He made pasta on Thursdays, the sauce too sweet, the pan smoky. He asked her to tell him a secret hope. I want the honors track in psychology next year, independent research on first-gen students and their support networks, Lena said. Of course, Arif said. You do not know how to aim low. What about you? She asked. I want us to take a road trip. Borrow my cousin's car, blast music, pull over for gas station ice cream, come back with one dent that we both pretend not to see. That is a good hope, Lena said. 2 weeks later, Lena passed Ronan outside a narrow bar near Bleecker. The door was propped open, and the music slid onto the sidewalk. He leaned in the frame. Come in, he said. 1 minute. I am meeting a friend, she said. 1 minute, he repeated. His eyes were tired and bright. She stepped inside. The room was dark and thin, full of strangers. He ordered something brown. She ordered soda water. He lifted his glass. To small victories, he said. What did you win? She asked. I have kept a promise for 3 days, he said. It is a personal promise. I will keep it for 4. Then to 4, she said, touching his glass with her straw. He reached for her wrist when she stood to leave. It was not hard. It could have been a reflex. She did not pull away fast. Then she did. She walked back into the street with her heart running downhill, wild and wrong. October 2015, the first kiss it. Rained early. Lena crossed under a small umbrella. Ronan stood at the bottom of the library steps, hair damp, jacket open. He smiled like he had been waiting to give her good news. I did it, he said. 2 weeks. 2 weeks what? She asked, though she knew. Clear, he said. No drinks. Good, she said, and felt pride that was not hers. I did not do it alone, he said. He took the umbrella handle with 2 fingers, careful, as if it could break. I have a list in my pocket. Call Ma, run 2 miles, eat a real meal, read 3 pages, breathe. Tell the vending machine girl that you are still trying. Do not call me that, she said, laughing. Then tell me your real name again, he said, teasing. Lena, she said. He stepped closer under the umbrella. The rain hissed against the stone. He had not touched her except for the handle, and yet his face looked like a hand on her cheek. The moment tilted. She knew its shape. "Ronan," she said. He kissed her. Quick and soft, a single line drawn too fast to be neat. The umbrella slipped and rain hit her jaw. She stepped back as if startled by a camera flash. "I am sorry," he said, rough. "I have to go," she said. She left almost running. She did not tell Arif. She told herself she would. She told herself it was a mistake, and she was a person who learned fast. She slept badly. November 2015, a heavier lie. Arif noticed the tired eyes. He asked if she wanted to skip the game that weekend. She said yes. He brought her coffee and an oatmeal cookie and kissed her forehead. She smiled and her chest tightened. "Are you happy?" he asked that night on her fire escape, looking at the river of headlights on the street below. "Yes," she said. "I am tired, Sid, and I am happy." He nodded. He did not know she had flipped the order. She was happy and she was tired. She was tired because she was happy and afraid. Ronan texted her rarely and never late. He understood that much. When he wrote, it was brief. "Kierkegaard is chewing me out. 2 miles, no applause. Imagine you clapping. The moon is overperforming." She replied sometimes not. She tried to build a wall with silence. He found the gaps. February 2016, the fault line 3rd semester. Lena's honors application was due in April. Arif lined up interviews for summer internships, one in a midtown office with fluorescent lights that made your skin look tired. "I could be in Boston for the summer," he said. "If I get it. Would you survive long distance for a few months?" "Of course," she said, and imagined the clean ache of it. Ronan vanished for a week and wrote, "I messed up. I am sorry. Do not reply. I will see you when I am me again." She did not reply. 2 days later, he found her near the psych building. "I will not apologize for existing in your orbit," he said. "That would be dramatic and dishonest. But I will say I did not show up like I meant to. I will fix it." "Not my job to fix you," Lena said. "I know," he said. "Just do not pretend you do not see me. That would be worse." She nodded and left. She thought about the many ways people disappear. You can take a person out of a story by dropping their name from the sentence. It is easy. It is cruel. April 2016, the night everything changed. The Honors Committee posted decisions at noon on a Thursday. Lena opened her email under a plane tree and read the first line 3 times. Accepted. Topic approved. A professor she admired would supervise. She called Arif. "I got it." "I knew you would," he said. "Dinner tonight. My treat." She floated the rest of the day. She went to the library to return a book and found Ronan sitting on the floor between stacks, back to the wall, knees up, head down. A paper lay face up beside him, a grade in red that was not kind. "Are you all right?" she asked. "I am the opposite," he said. His eyes were too bright. "Come on," she said. "You need air." They stood near the arch. The city had that late spring shine that feels like a promise. He took a breath that seemed to scrape his throat. "Say something good," he said. "I got into the honors program," she said. She could not help the joy in it. He smiled, genuine. "Of course you did. Proof the universe is still counting." "Ronan," she said, and heard her voice turn soft in a way that scared her. He pulled a small bottle from his jacket, looked at it, then put it back. He held the pocket like a pact. "Not now," he said. "Not today." They stood too close. She could smell soap and rain and a line of nerves. "Do you ever feel like there are 2 lives?" he asked. "The one you promised and the one you are in." "Yes," she said, quiet. He kissed her again. "Not a line." A door pushed open. She did not stop him. She did not think of the dinner Arif had planned. She only thought of the warmth of Ronan's mouth and the way her hands took their own path to his shoulders. A car horn snapped the air. She pulled back like a thief interrupted. "I have to go," she said. "Go," he said. He kept his jaw tight. "Celebrate." She ran to the subway. She made it to the restaurant where Arif waited, already standing, already smiling. He hugged her and held on 1 second longer, anchoring something. "You are glowing," he said. "Because of you," she answered. The lie landed clean. She hated how easy it was. They ate. Arif told her about a professor who wrote an equation so messy that the class laughed and then solved it. Lena laughed at the right places. She was present. She was kind. She was also somewhere else, carrying a kiss like a hidden match. When they walked out under a clear sky, Arif laced their fingers together. "I love you," he said. He had said it before, but this time it hit like a bell. "I love you too," Lena said. The sentence split inside her and kept walking. May 2016, the line crossed finals again. Arif studied late. Lena lived at the library. She met Ronan twice in 2 weeks. She did not pretend it was accidental. They sat on a swing set in a small park near the river at midnight. The city hummed behind them. The swings creaked. "Do you think we are bad?" Ronan asked. "I think we are making a mistake in slow motion," Lena said. "Then we should stop," he said. "We should," she said. Neither moved. They kissed like people trying to learn a language by speaking it too fast. She felt a pressure under her ribs. She thought of Arif counting change at the deli and humming under his breath. She thought of Ronan holding a bottle he did not open and the effort that took. Her eyes stung. She did not stop. At 2, she went home alone. She washed her face until it hurt. She looked into the mirror. "You are not the hero," she said aloud. The verdict sounded right and wrong at once. June 2016, summer begins. Arif got Boston. He left on a gray Saturday with a duffel and a bag of snacks Lena packed. They kissed at Port Authority with the bus coughing fumes beside them. They promised to call every night. The bus rolled out and took her cleanest life with it. Ronan took summer classes. Lena stayed for research and work. The campus thinned. Days stretched. They met in places that felt both safe and wrong. A cafe that never closed. A lawn that looked innocent in the dark. His room with a mattress on the floor and a single plant in the window, underwatered, stubborn. "We are not good people," Lena said once, head on his shoulder, the city a hum below the window. "We are people," Ronan said. "Sometimes that is worse." "You drink less when I am around," she said. "For now," he said into her hair. "That cannot be the reason you stay." "It is not," she said, and for a second it was not a lie. July 2016, the call. The call came at 11. Arif sounded tired and happy. "We finished the prototype," he said. "They might extend me for fall." "Could you handle distance for a semester?" "Of course," Lena said. She closed her eyes. The room was thin with streetlight. "I miss you," he said. "There is a gull that waits on the pier and stares at my chips like it owns them. The water looks like it knows something and refuses to say it." "Tell me everything," she said. He did. She listened carefully, held the phone with both hands, and did not cry until after the call. 5 minutes later, Ronan texted. "Come over," he wrote. She went. August 2016, the return. Arif came back with a tan and a leaner laugh. He wrapped Lena in his arms on the sidewalk outside her building. "They did not extend me," he said. "Part of me is relieved." "Me too," Lena said. She meant it so much it frightened her. They cooked, shopped for raspberries they could not afford, and tried to restart the version of themselves that worked. For a week, it almost felt natural. The betrayal became a shadow that moved when she did. Ronan saw her by chance outside a campus bookstore. He looked worse. He had tried to stop again and failed. He did not need to say it. It hung in the air. "Leave me alone for a while," Lena said. "Please." He nodded. He did not argue. He looked like a man facing a locked door and knowing he had built the hinges himself. September 2016, a confession deferred. The new semester started. Lena chased her honors proposal through emails and signed forms. One night, she rehearsed the confession on the walk home. In the stairwell, she practiced the words until they sounded like rocks in her mouth. She opened the door and found Arif asleep at the table, a textbook under his hand. A problem set curled at the corners. He looked young and worn, the kind of tired that asks for kindness without asking. She set a blanket over his shoulders. In the morning, he woke and smiled. "You are my favorite person," he said. Lena said nothing. The theft was in the silence. November 2016. The fall Ronan disappeared for a week, then 2. Lena heard he had missed an exam and a shift. She tried to unlearn caring, to put him in the same category as a familiar face on a crowded train. It did not work. She found him on a bench near Washington Square, hunched, hands jammed in his jacket pockets. "Are you all right?" she asked. "I am empty," he said. No drama. A fact. "You should call someone," she said. "A counselor. Your mother." "I called my mother," he said. "She told me to drink water and pray. I did one of those." "Which?" "Water," he said. He looked at her with a mix of need and apology. "Say something to keep me standing." "I cannot hold you up," Lena said. "You have to do that." "I know," he said. "Stay for 10 minutes anyway." She did. 10 became 60. He did not touch her. She did not touch him. That night she told Arif she had fallen asleep at the library. The lie weighed more. December 2016. Winter again. They went home for a week. Lena helped her mother cook. Arif came by with oranges and a plan for New Year's at the park. They hiked a trail in Forest Park and took a photo that made them look like a couple with nothing to hide. Lena saved it and did not open it for a month. March 2017. Sparks and ash. The campus paper ran photos of tulips. Lena presented her first research update to a handful of students. Arif sat front row and clapped like she had won a prize. His face was bright with pride that asked for nothing back. "I like watching you do what you are for," he said, still clapping softly. Ronan was not there. He had been in a detox program for 10 days. When he came back, he looked thinner, edges sharper, but there was a light in his voice that had not been there all winter. "I am trying again," he said by the bike racks. "I know you have heard that before. I need you to hear it again." "You tried," she said. "That counts." "Do not be kind to me," he said. "It will undo me." "I am trying to be kind to myself," she said. For once it felt true. They parted without touching. Lena felt a relief that did not last, but it existed for an afternoon. May 2017, junior year ending. Arif found an internship in the city. They could see each other more. Lena mapped her thesis and booked meetings with her advisor. They walked past a bar where Ronan leaned on the railing with a glass of water. He saw them and straightened. "Hey," he said to both. "Arif, right?" "Yeah," Arif said, friendly. "Ronan, you are in Lena's what? Philosophy class sometimes?" "Something like that," Ronan said. He looked at Lena once, quick, like a man glancing at a light that hurts. "Good to see you," Arif said. "We are catching the last bit of light in the park." "Catch it," Ronan said. He did not ask for anything. They left. Lena drew a full breath like someone reaching the surface after a long swim. It is easy to be good when the person you are cheating on smiles at your secret with a clean heart. July 2017, a promise on paper. Lena wrote 30 pages of her thesis. She worked at the library and made iced tea in a jar. Arif coded and came home with eyes that were tired and satisfied. They ate on the floor and made fun of a reality show and promised not to tell anyone they watched it. Lena thought she could carve out a simpler story if she kept going like this. She cut Ronan out of her routes and messages. She practiced absence. At 1 a.m. one night, Ronan texted, "I will not drink tonight if you answer." Lena put the phone face down. She did not answer. In the morning, he did not write. 2 days later, she heard from a friend that he had relapsed and slept behind the student center until a friend hauled him home. She felt a hollowness she could not confess. She went to the old basketball court behind her high school when she visited Queens, stood on the faded free throw line, and asked the air for courage. She went back to Manhattan and kept writing. September 2017, senior year begins. This is where a person has to choose if the lie will harden into a life. Lena is 20. Arif is 20. They can graduate in May if they keep their balance. Ronan is behind on paper and far behind in his head, but he is still on the board. The betrayal exists. It has a history now. It can still be redirected. It can also be allowed to calcify. You want to know what happens next. Here is what matters going in. Lena is not a villain. She is not a hero. She fell in love with a second person while still loving the first. She did not plan it. She did not resist enough. She thought careful lies could manage the shape of it. Arif is kind in the ordinary way that lasts, the way that cooks pasta and finds phone chargers and shows up 20 minutes early. He has not understood what is happening, not because he is naive, but because people trust what they have built. Ronan drinks, and he knows it. He is more than that and less. He is trying to build a spine out of promises. He pulls Lena into his gravity with a look that says, "Help me and do not try in the same breath." What follows is the long part. If you stay, stay all the way. October 2017, the list on the fridge. Arif taped a list to Lena's fridge on a Saturday morning. It was not a demand. It was a plan for the week. Small squares Lena could check off and call victory. Run twice, it said. Read 15 pages. Work on your abstract. Eat something green. Sleep. Lena laughed. You forgot breathe. Sometimes you need reminders, Arif said. Sometimes you do not. They went to a farmer's market in Union Square, stood at a stall smelling peaches, and talked about what it would feel like to live past the next 8 months. On Monday, Lena spotted Ronan by the music store on West 4th. He had a paper bag in his hand and a bruise lightening on his cheekbone, old yellow. He saw her, saw the list of small squares on her face, and looked down. Do not, she said. He put the bag down in a trash can without opening it. Not today. Then walk with me, she said. They walked once around the park. They did not talk about the bruise. They did not touch. They were both very careful. Sometimes that is how you set a fuse. November 2017, the first collapse. Lena woke to a message at 3:09 a.m. I am sorry, Ronan wrote. I am so tired of myself. She did not answer in the dark. In the morning, she found 2 more messages. Do not come, he wrote. Forget me, he wrote. Actually, come, he wrote. She went. He was in his room, sitting on the floor with his back to the bed frame. The window was open, and cold air pressed in. 3 empty bottles on the desk said everything on his behalf. I am not your emergency exit, Lena said, standing at the door. I know, he said. Close the window, please. She closed it. She picked up the bottles and set them on the counter. She sat on the floor across from him. I do not know how to be the person you think I am, he said. I do not think you are anything, she said. I think you are a person, which is worse. People expect things from themselves. I will ruin your life, he said. It is my life, she said. What if I asked you to delete my number? He said. Block me, hard block, all of it. Do you want that? She asked. Yes, he said. No. She stood and put her phone on the counter face down. We will decide in the morning, she said. You will shower. I will make tea that tastes like grass. You will go to class. I will go to the lab. We will make 12 small decisions and call it a day. He laughed once, helpless. You sound like you are saving me from a machine. Do not make me a pattern, she said. Too late, he said. She left before dawn. She typed Arif a message at 6:14 a.m. Fell asleep at the lab. Phone died. I am okay. He sent back a sleepy heart. Lena set her phone on the table. She did not block Ronan. Not yet. December 2017, the promise and the crack snow came. City snow, gray by noon. Lena turned in a draft of her thesis. Arif met her on the steps with 2 hot chocolates and a kiss she did not deserve. They walked into Midtown to see the store windows and gape at a fake skating rink. I have been thinking about after we graduate, Arif said. I do not have a 10-year plan. I have a 6-month plan. We could get a place in Queens, a small one, 2 rooms and a stubborn radiator. Lena pictured a kettle, a shelf of cheap spices, 2 mugs that never got put away because they were always in use. The image warmed her and made her afraid. I like that plan, she said. That night, Ronan sent a photo of his notebook. A list of days crossed out with a pen. He was counting the sober days again. It had 6 lines. Do not reward me for what should be normal, he wrote. I will not, she replied. I will be glad anyway. He sent a period as if that was more honest than words. January 2018, the second collapse New Year. The city made resolutions it would not keep. Ronan disappeared for 3 days. Lena did not call. She rehearsed the block in her head like a speech. On the 4th night, he showed up outside her building with a split lip and a paper bag that clinked. She went down anyway because the part of her that loved a burning thing was louder than the part that knew better. I asked you to hard block me, he said. I meant it. You did not, she said. You wanted me to perform an act of mercy so you could blame me. He flinched like the truth had a weight. Come upstairs, she said. You can sit on the floor, and I will sit in the chair, and we will not talk about anything except simple things like soup. I will break your life, he said again. You do not have that kind of power, she said. He came up. He did not touch her. He slept on the floor with a jacket rolled under his head. In the morning, she gave him toast and sent him to a meeting room in a church basement that smelled like coffee. He texted after. Sat in a metal chair for an hour. Hated every minute. Stayed anyway. Good, she wrote. She did not put a heart. That afternoon, Arif sent a link to an apartment listing. Wood floors in theory. A bathroom that had survived a different century. We could afford this if we pretend we do not like furniture, he wrote. Lena stared at the photos until they looked like a game. Let us go see it, she typed. Then she put her phone down and cried, quiet and quick. February 2018, the first honest day. Lena woke knowing she would break something open. Arif made breakfast at her stove, lopsided pancakes, and a running commentary that made the smoke alarm chirp. He moved with the comfort of someone who knew where everything was. I have to tell you something, Lena said. He turned off the burner and leaned on the counter. His face made room. I love you, Lena said. I have been wrong. I got close to someone last year. It started small. I kissed him twice, and then there were places and times I did not tell you about. I tried to end it. I failed. I am not telling you to ask for forgiveness. I am telling you because I cannot keep you in the dark and still call it love. He looked at her and did not speak. He did not do a dramatic thing. He did not break a plate. He sat down at the table and put his hands flat, palms down, like he was steadying it. "How long?" he asked. "Since last spring," she said. "Do you want him?" he asked. "I want a version of myself I do not know how to be," she said. "With him, I feel like I am holding a burning thing and not dropping it. That is not love. It is a trick." "What is his name?" Arif asked. She told him. He nodded once, as if the name changed the density of the air. He stood, took his jacket, put on his shoes with careful hands. "I need time," he said. "Do not call me today." He left. Lena stood in the kitchen and listened to the building breathe. At noon, she went to the river and sat on a bench. She put her phone away in her backpack and let it die there. March 2018, the hard block. Arif did not call for 4 days. On the 5th, he texted, "I am not ready to meet. I am asking for space. That is not a punishment, it is a need." "I hear you," Lena wrote. "I am here when you want." She opened her messages to Ronan and typed fast. "I told Arif, you need to stop coming to me like I am a cure. I am blocking you. This is not a punishment. It is the only way I can live with myself." She sent it before she could rewrite it. She hit the block and it felt like dropping a stone into deep water. The silence that followed was clean and terrible. That night, she dreamed of a vending machine that ate dollars and a boy who could fix it by hitting it with conviction. She woke and realized the boy and the machine traded places in her head. She went to a meeting in the church basement. She sat in a metal chair and listened to strangers say their names and truths that sounded like lines from books and also like a hand on your back. She did not speak. She was there. It counted. April 2018. Consequences. Ronan left a letter at the front desk of her building because he could not reach her phone. The super slid it under her door with a note that said, someone named Lena stared at it for an hour before opening it. It was not romantic. It was a list. Day 1. Slept. Day 2. Shook. Day 3. Called Ma. Day 4, showed up. Day 5, sat in the chair. Day 6, wanted to drink more than I wanted to breathe. Day 7, did not. Day 8, missed you. Day 9, missed you less. Day 10, missed you again. At the bottom he wrote small, "Do not save me. Watch me save myself, or do not watch." Lena folded the page and put it in a drawer with batteries and an old Metro card. She did not write back. Arif met her in a park near Jackson Heights on a Sunday when the trees were still thinking about leaves. He looked thinner. His face was calm. "I cannot carry what you gave me and walk with you at the same time," he said. "Maybe one day, not now." "I am sorry," Lena said. It sounded like a weak cup of tea. "Do not be small about it," he said, kind but clear. "You set 2 fires and tried to live between them. That is not a life. That is a scene." "I know," she said. "I do not hate you," he said. "I do not trust you. Those are different." He stood. He put a hand on her shoulder that lasted exactly 1 second. He left. Lena sat and watched a boy blow a soap bubble that drifted across the grass and did not pop for longer than you would think. May 2018, graduation caps and gowns. Cameras held by proud hands. Arif walked with his class and smiled in photos, the clean smile of someone who can hold 2 truths. Lena walked too, shook Adine's hand, and felt the weight of a cord against her neck. She did not look for Ronan. That night the city felt loud and new. The world did not end. It never does. It just keeps offering the next day like a sheet you can pull up to your chin. June 2018, after Lena moved into a small studio in Sunnyside with a window that watched the 7 train. She got a job in a nonprofit office that had mismatched chairs and a stapler that jammed if you looked at it wrong. She cooked lentils on Sundays and made a list on her fridge like Arif used to make, squares she could check and call victory. One morning, she found an unblocked email from Ronan in her spam folder. The filter had decided for her. 6 months, it said. I do not have a speech. The plant is still alive. I poured out a bottle in March, and it felt like a funeral. I am not interesting. I am here. That is what I have. She did not reply. She stood by her window and watched the train curve into the bright. August 2019, a corner store. A year went by slow and then fast. Lena stopped counting days out loud. She took long walks. She kept fewer secrets. She went into a corner store on a Monday to buy milk, and in front of the gum rack, she saw Arif. He was holding a carton of eggs like it was fragile enough to teach care. They stood there with the loud fridge humming behind them. "Hi," he said. "Hi," she said. He looked at her face like a person trying to read a map that used to make sense. "How are you?" he asked. "Better," she said. "You?" "Also better," he said. "Do you want to get coffee sometime?" She did not know if he meant a cure or a ceremony. She nodded anyway. They made a plan for Saturday at a place near the park. He left. She exhaled. Outside, the sky was a soft blue that looked like it might hold. September 2019. Coffee. They sat in a small shop with a wall of plants. They talked about jobs and cousins and the price of mangoes in summer. No one said the old names. No one said we could go back. They spoke like people who had learned their lessons too late and still showed up for class. "I am seeing someone," Arif said. His grin was shy and new. "I am not," Lena said. She smiled like a person who was not broken in half anymore, only marked where the break had been. "I am glad you came," he said. "Me too," she said. She meant it clean. She walked out and crossed the street without checking her phone. December 2019, a church basement. Ronan stood at the back of a room that smelled like coffee and folding chairs. He had his hands in his pockets and his shoulders up near his ears. He looked like someone trying to take up less space. Lena stood at the door and did not go in. She read the flyer on the corkboard again. She left without speaking. She did not owe him witness. He did not owe her a speech. On the sidewalk, she stood in the cold until her breath made little clouds. She put her hands in her coat and found a coin. She laughed. She had forgotten about coins in a world of cards. March 2020, a city paused. The city went quiet. Sirens replaced traffic. Windows became frames for lives you could see. Lena worked from home. Arif texted sometimes to ask if she had enough rice. She did. Ronan sent nothing. She blocked nothing. The silence had changed shape. Lena took up running at dawn. She watched the light slide down glass buildings and decided that being ordinary was a skill. She got better at it. July 2021, a small party. A friend held a rooftop gathering. Lena went late. She leaned on a railing and watched the skyline breathe. Ronan was there. He stood with a cup of water in his hand. He looked good in the way people do when they decide to be boring on purpose and succeed. "Hey," he said. "Hey," she said. They stood with 3 feet of air between them. "How are you?" he asked. "Sturdy," she said. He smiled. "I like that word." "And you?" she asked. "Still showing up," he said. "It is not a story anyone wants to read. It is a life. I am keeping it." "Good," she said. She meant it. He reached out his hand. She shook it. His palm was warm. It did not feel like a promise. It felt like a boundary. "Be well," he said. "You too," she said. She left early. She slept hard. Epilogue. The narrow road. If you wanted a dramatic twist, there is none. The point is not the surprise. The point is the path, hard and narrow, crowded with small decisions. Lena learned to choose the next right thing. Arif built a life from steady kindness and did not apologize for it. Ronan kept sitting in metal chairs that did not love him back and showed up anyway. Betrayal did not make them special. It made them honest in time. The lies did what lies do. They broke things that healed crooked and still worked. If you are waiting for a moral, here is the only one that fits. Do not try to hold a burning thing to prove you are brave. Put it down. Walk away. Learn to fix the little machines that eat your days. Learn what kind of person you are when no one is watching and the city is loud and you are tired. Thank you for watching. Next part, upload next time.